Hey, so this is like the second installment, the second part of this transference of skills from different areas of your life, taking the fundamentals and now making a recipe of those skills so we can use them in different areas of your life. And there's a process in this. I'm going to teach you the basic process, and then there's going to be a third part. So you've got to do the things in the first part, the second part, and then we're going to crush it on the third part. But you have to understand the process in this, so then when you come to do it in a particular and specific thing that you want, we're going to nail it. So hopefully you're going to want to change now. Hey, this is the Personal Development Unplugged podcast, where we use hypnosis. Yeah, hypnosis. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Don't worry what it is. It's just a mass of processes that we're going to get you to change. Change to let go of anxiety, low self-esteem, and create massive supreme inner confidence. But that's confidence in your competence and competence in your confidence, which means you can do anything and be safe, to enjoy the world as it should be, with you at the helm, creating the life that you want. That's what this podcast is about. You, and being the best you could be, singing from your real voice, aligned with your mission, aligned with your passions. That's what it's about. So if you're interested in letting go of anxiety, if you're interested in letting go of fear, guilt, all those blooming syndromes, imposter syndromes, and every little bit of the mind which is negative, then have a listen here, because we've got some wonderful processes and lots of good conversations between you and me to get us both thinking in such wonderful ways. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just take the chance to have a listen.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, back with me for another deeper dive. Do you remember that last episode where we called it I can't even say the word. Skill stacking and sharing with ourselves. And then he said something completely not on the calendar. Anyway, remember, it was from Alan Stein Jr. and the things he brought about transferring of basic fundamental skills from one area of your life to another. And in the last episode, I wanted you to realize that you've actually got what you need. Yes, you might have an issue, but you've actually got the resources that will make that issue disappear and actually make you the way, and you can have the way you want to be, because you've got it here already. And then you can just get it better. And that's what we're going to do today. And I want you to, you to really feel that, I'm better than I thought. Let's do this. And I want you to do this. And I want you to remember what wonderful qualities you have. And if you remember, when you listen, you have listened to the last episode, didn't you? Of share, I can't even say it right now, skill, stacking, and sharing with yourselves. Because if you haven't, you need to. You have to. You should. And I don't like shooting all over you. And I don't like telling you have to. But you do. You see, in that episode, I asked you to think about your issue. And I gave you examples how to think about your issue and how to think of, what was happening. And then I asked you to think, well, if you know what you were missing, say you were missing confidence, or say you were missing low self-esteem we talked about, or if you felt guilty for, it's just not right to feel guilty all the time, or feeling jealous all the time, or feel depressed and sad and lonely, all that stuff. Well, there are times in your life where you didn't feel you had a lack of confidence. In fact, you felt really competent and confident, where you didn't have low self-esteem, that you just felt good in yourself. You never felt guilty because you felt good about yourself because what you were doing for other people maybe. You never felt jealous because you You just celebrate and support other people. Whatever it is, there's a better way. Or there's a way in your past that you've done it before. And I ask you to write out those counterexamples. Write out 3, 4, or 5, a couple of lines on each of different times in your past where you have felt the way you wanted to feel, or you want to feel now, but you felt it in the past, just not doing it now. And what belief did you have about yourself when you were doing it the way you wanted, or way you were feeling the way you wanted to feel right now? And if you couldn't get that belief, you would say to yourself, well, what belief must I have had? Well, I must have felt good about myself, felt worthy, or felt, I've done good. I'm a good person. Those type of things. I also said, as another thing I'd like you to do, was to do a mind map, as it were, of your qualities. All the qualities that you have and you haven't thought about for a long time maybe, or any time maybe. And you write down all the things that you're good at. And they could be anything from bloody breathing and keeping alive to being the most awesome person that does this, this, and this. And you only have to do it once to know that you've got that quality inside you. And I know that you've done everything once. So find those qualities. And I said, if you want to, maybe go back to the episode #78 where I talk about this in more detail. And also the hypnosis track. I ask you to have a listen to that hypnosis track, which is, again, on those hypnosis tracks on paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Well, it isn't. That's how you sign up to it. But you've obviously got the link, haven't you? And then listen to 78.9. And if you haven't got that link, paulcloughonline.com/podcast. And I also then said, what we're going to do today is find out a way how we can not only, now we understand that we can do those things because we've done them in the past, we know what our qualities are, how we can make a recipe now of those qualities and stack them. So now we are transferring those fundamentals in real time. And we're going to make a menu, because when you want to do something specifically, say you wanted to go to a meeting, for example, and you feel unconfident, it's not just confidence you want, is it? Because you might want calmness as well. So you can be, maybe calm under that pressure, or awareness, or you have that way of being able to recollect and have access to the information you want. Because each one of those is a different skill. Each one carries with it a different emotion, a different feeling. Because if you think about it, there's a picture in your head which is linked to an emotion, which is linked to part of your physiology. And it all works together. So that's a recipe, and we're going to make that recipe. But I needed you to find out the ingredients, as it were. Because you can't bake a cake if you haven't got the watering facilities for that plant to grow. Which made no sense at all, because I decided I wanted to make no sense at all. But you know what I mean? It's all about finding the right ingredients and then mixing them in the right order, not necessarily the right order, but the right quantities. So, if you wanted all that confidence and a little bit of calmness, but being totally aware of who you're with, or maybe that connection, things like that. So how the bloody hell are we going to do that? Well, here's how we're going to do it. I'll explain it first, and then we're going to bloody do it. We'll do a typical example, and then probably I might even do an example that you just have to fill in the blank. Okay? We'll see how things go. But the first thing first we're going to do is a thing called anchoring. Now, anchoring that you'll find on the hypnosis tracks at paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Sign up, get your access code or whatever, you get that link. You'll find there is one, I think there's at least one, or there's certainly one, but maybe two different tracks on there of how to change your state with anchoring. And basically what an anchor is it's a particular stimulus, a very specific stimulus that is connected to an emotion. So a natural one would be, guess what? I'm breaking up with my first girlfriend, my first ever girlfriend. And in the background, there's some music going. Or I'm in a particular place and I see a picture or I see something, I've got the emotion of breaking up, that sadness. And I've got this anchor, this stimulus of, be it visual, maybe auditory, the song. And what happens is, years go by maybe, and then all of a sudden I hear that music. And I'm not with anybody, but I hear that music and I get sad again. Or I see that picture, or I go into that room again. And I haven't been into that room for maybe whatever length of time. And as I go into that room, I feel sad again, because there's a very specific stimulus and response. That's all an anchor is, stimulus and response. So what we're going to do, we are going to create that stimulus, which is going to be the anchor. A lot of people would initially do it with squeezing their forefinger and their thumb together. So when they feel the emotion, they squeeze their finger and their first finger and their thumb together as they're feeling that emotion. And when the emotion goes, we say, release the anchor, or release those two fingers. Think of that feeling again. Squeeze your finger and thumb together, and you're stacking that anchor. And then when you want to feel that feeling again, clear the screen as it were, press that finger and thumb together, and hey-ho, you feel that feeling again. Because you've got that unique, specific stimulus to fire off that emotion. Now, you can do it with any finger. I use the inside pads of my finger because they're a little bit more subtle. And you've got more of them. You've only got 5 fingers, but if you look at inside your fingers, you've got 3 pads to each finger. You've got 4 knuckles on each hand. So you could just touch one knuckle. That's a great way we teach people how to do anchoring. We get them just to touch one specific knuckle. And they always touch in the same place. So it's very specific, isn't it? It's unique. It's a unique touch, a specific touch. And that is then attached to that emotion. And I'll show you how to do that. So what we're going to do, I guess, is we want a recipe though, don't we? We want a recipe. And a recipe for a specific context. So this isn't just really about, I just want to be confident. I just want to have high self-esteem. I just want to feel good. I want to think of a particular area in your life which you're going to be going into. So it's in the future, but it's going to come into the now shortly. So I'm going to meet somebody maybe that I'm a little bit nervous of, or I'm going to do a presentation, a little bit iffy about, or I'm, going to a job interview, or I'm going to have a hard conversation, or you see, they're all making negative things better. Or maybe it's about, well, I'm pretty good at the gym, but I want to feel a little bit more confident about doing that one exercise. Or I want to get more motivation, as it were, for that one trip to the gym or whatever it is. I want motivation to start producing stuff. And motivation will have things like calmness, might have action, might have success, whatever it is. There's a recipe of different emotions and different emotions in different quantities as well. So as I said, we're going to come up with a recipe and a recipe of ingredients and ingredients in their right quantities. And basically, you're going to think, oh, Paul, crikey, O'Reilly, how am I going to think about what quantities of these ingredients? Don't worry about that. Your unconscious mind does it for you. Only how we can't do it consciously. Jesus, no. But your unconscious mind, your best friend, goes, now I know what you want. I'll do it for you. And you see, when we've got that anchor stacked, then we're going to visualize it. And we're going to visualize how you want it to be. See it how you want to be. But just before you start visualizing, you're going to fire off the anchor to have that full recipe come into action. And feel the way you want to feel as you imagine doing it. And you're going to feel it and see it and do it, and everything is going to be awesome. And the thing is, when we do this, we're going to anchor in a specific way. As I said, finger and thumb, finger, a little pad of your finger or knuckle. But also, as we feel the feeling, squeeze or touch that place, we're going to also give each anchor a name. So it could be, well, it's your name. Mine's sometimes just like, I'm going to get this. And that's my go get this thing. Or I'm gonna really connect with XYZ. So I'm going to say their name and then fire the anchor. Say their name, set the anchor. Fire it and set it. That's all we're going to be doing. So I've hopefully explained that now. So I've asked you to get those counterexamples out now. Look at your qualities and start to think now of a specific thing in the future that you want to do even better, or something you're a little bit nervous of doing and you want to do it in a particular way. Okay? Because when you do this, you got to remember we're doing a specific context, a specific thing that you want to do better, and then you use this same recipe. Not the same recipe of emotions, but the same process rather. It's a better way of saying it, Cluffy, get your words right. We use the same process to create a different recipe for a different context, a different thing that you want. But the process remains the same. And it just gets easier and easier the more you do the process, you get used to it. And guess what? Your old best friend, your old best buddy starts to do it for you before you even think about even trying to do the process. It's doing it. And all of a sudden, life becomes, nearly swore then, pretty good. So are you up for this? Yeah? You are. Come on then. This is what we're going to do. I want you to think of that specific context now. And it's got to be specific. I just don't want to get better at meetings. Now I want to think of this one particular meeting. You do the one particular meeting, every meeting is going to start going the same. Okay? So there's one specific thing you want to do first, and then we'll generalize it. So if you remember, in the last podcast, we said when you do something, it always generalizes. So if you do something and it's not quite so good, sometimes we just generalize it not being so good in more places. So now we're going to do good stuff and have that generalize. Yay! So here's the thing. Think of that thing that you want, the thing you want to do better. Now, what would be the things? Let's just think of 3 specific emotions, as it were, the way you'd like to feel. So let's think about it. I'm going to go with those first 3 just to give you an idea, just to notice how you feel. And the 3 different things I've picked is confidence, calmness, or calmness could be feeling comfortable. Maybe that's a better way. Let's say comfortable. And then having an awareness of your surroundings, awareness of who you are, what you are, and things like that. Okay? Just an awareness, however you feel it. And we're going to stack that. And I'm going to show you how to stack it. Okay? So here's what you do. Now, let's do it now. And if you're going to do it now, you really don't want to be doing it. You can't do it when you're driving. Because I want you to imagine things, visualize things. And when we visualize, it's sometimes easy to do it with your eyes closed, so you're less distracted, okay, by what's going around about you. So that means we need a quiet, generally, not be quiet, but it needs to be a place where you personally will be undisturbed. So you can be in a cafe as long as you're undisturbed. You could be in a park bench, undisturbed. It could be at home, wherever you want to be, but where you have nothing else to do, basically. You have sod all else to do other than spend this wonderful time on yourself. Have the intention. Remember, we always talk about intention? The intention of creating this wonderful stacked experience, this recipe, from these ingredients: confidence, comfort, and awareness. So we're going to do. So here's what we do. I want you also now, just before we do that, decide, is it going to be finger and thumb? And it's going to be the same finger and thumb every time. Is it going to be a knuckle, or is it going to be one of those pads on the inside of your fingers? Choose one specific point on that whatever hand you choose. Okay? So we've now decided where we're going to stack the anchor, and we've now decided what specific context we want to be. Well, sort of. We will do that really, but this one we're just going to stack the anchor. I'm maybe confusing you a little bit. So forget the specific context at the moment, but just notice we're going to do that in a moment. So first of all, if you close your eyes, we want to be. Well, sort of. We will do that really, but this one we're just going to stack the anchor. I'm maybe confusing you a little bit. So forget the specific context at the moment, but just notice we're going to do that in a moment. So first of all, if you close your eyes, and I want you to think back over your past, and think of a specific time in your past when you've had confidence, when you felt fully competent in your confidence, and it was successful and you enjoyed it. One specific time in your past, not a general time, a specific memory, and bring that specific memory to mind right now. And as you bring it to mind, go back there. Go back in time. Go back into that memory. Go back into your body and see what you saw. Hear what you heard. And as you see what you saw and hear what you heard, back at that time, feel this confidence. Feel the feeling of this wonderful confidence and competence in yourself. Feel it and just let everything disappear and just keep the feeling. And then double the feeling, because you can. Make it more intense. If you want to, spin it in such a wonderful way, it gets even more powerful. And as it grows in intensity, squeeze that finger and thumb, squeeze that pad or touch that knuckle. And just hold it there as you make that feeling so intense because you're so confident, so confident. And now just let it go. Let go of that finger and thumb. Just let them relax and let that memory disappear and come back into your body. Hey ho, we're here again. If you want, open your eyes and then close them again and think of another time when you were so confident. Let's have a different time. And as you bring that specific time in your mind, that memory, go back into that memory. And as you go back into that memory, float into your body and see what you saw, hear what you heard, and now feel the feeling of that confidence, that total confidence in enjoying yourself. And as you feel that confidence growing, intensify it, double it, treble it. And as you do that, as it builds and builds and builds, squeeze that finger and thumb together, that pad, that thumb, or that knuckle, and hold it. Hold it, just squeezing a little bit firmer as it gets more and more intense and you feel that feeling of confidence and it grows and grows and grows. And then just let it go. Let it go. Come back into your body. Open your eyes, clear the screen. Now here's the thing. Fire that anger. So squeeze that finger and thumb or that thumb and pad or that knuckle and notice that feeling of confidence comes, hey, I can feel it again. And if it's not quite as strong as you want, just rewind and do it twice more with different memories. If you want to do it with the same memory, you can. And keep squeezing it and then just come back to now. Fire that anchor off and notice you've got that feeling of confidence. But the thing is, that's only one ingredient out of the three, isn't it? So now what I want you to do is close your eyes and think of a time when you were so comfortable in yourself. You were comfortable and you felt safe. It could be any time in the past, but think of a specific time where you just felt comfortable. That's right, it'll come up. Let it come up into your conscious awareness. Your unconscious mind can bubble it up into your conscious awareness. And as you become aware of that memory, that specific memory, just go back there. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel that feeling of feeling so comfortable. That's right. And let it ooze comfort. And as it gets more and more comfortable, squeeze that same finger and thumb together, that same thumb and pad of your finger, or that knuckle, that same knuckle, just as you feel so comfortable. And as you double it, just keep that finger and thumb, knuckle and thumb. Keep it just touching together, squeezing together, and then just let it go. Let it go, come back into your body, open your eyes, see the world as it is, close your eyes and find another time in your past where you were oh so comfortable. And as it bubbles up, and if you can't think of one, have that first one, and go back there. Go back into that memory, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel that feeling of comfort ooze again. Ooze through every cell, every fiber of your body. So every part of you is oh so comfortable and safe. And when you feel so comfortable and safe, squeeze that anchor, finger and thumb, pad and thumb on that knuckle, and just squeeze it as you feel that feeling of comfort. And then just let it go, come back into your body, open your eyes and go, hey, hallelujah, I'm back in the world again. Now, the third one into this unique recipe of something. We don't know what it is, but it'll affect something in a good way. We said awareness, being aware of either the information you want, and your version of awareness, okay? And I want you to now just close your eyes and think of a memory. Have a memory come to mind where you were totally aware of your surroundings, aware of you, aware of information. And you really enjoyed yourself. It was good. And as you have that memory come to mind, go back into that memory. See what you saw, hear what you heard. And now feel the feelings of being totally aware, having awareness. That's right. And as you feel that feeling of awareness grow, you can be oh so aware, and even more so than you felt then. You just double it. And as you feel that feeling of awareness, that emotion of awareness, begin to squeeze that finger and thumb together, the thumb and pad or that knuckle, and squeeze it in such a wonderful way, that unique way. That's right. Now, let it go. And open your eyes and come back to me. Now, here's the thing. You could do that a number of times. Now, the one thing we haven't done, and I haven't done it deliberately, I wanted to give this, or I will be giving this particular anchor that you're going to use for a really specific event, because this isn't for a specific event, there's a general one, just showing you the process. We're going to add a name, and we're going to repeat that same name in the same internal voice, the same of everything. And we're going to add it to that feeling so that anchor becomes doubly powerful. But here's the thing. So we're going to make it even better. But just for the moment, just spell your name backwards. Have you got a telephone number that you could jumble up in your mind and then throw it into the world and then come back and say it? Backwards, forwards, sideways. Think of a good time. Oh, that's lovely. What's your name? Who am I? It's Cluffy. All that is just breaking the state. Now, just generally think. You know, I've said confidence, competence, being comfortable and being aware. Just think of something in the future where you think that might be useful. And as you think about that, fire off that anchor, squeeze that exact same place, and you'll find confidence, comfort and awareness will spread. And as you think about that thing that you want to do, as if you're visualizing you do it, just notice how good it feels. Having these wonderful resources, how your behavior changes because you've got these emotions, and these emotions are linked to a series of wonderful behaviors that are congruent to confidence, congruent to comfort, and congruent to awareness. And just notice yourself just being good. And how do you feel about that situation now? How is it different? Because I know it'll be different in a good way. Anyway, that's it. So what we're going to do in a moment is do something specific. And what I think I'm going to do, instead of do it right now, I'll actually do a separate track for this, so you can use it over and over again. So we're going to have something like recall number 1 of your list of ingredients, then number 2, and then number 3, and put it all together. And then we'll do something for visualizing your future by firing off and putting that wonderful, powerful word. So you've now got the process, because it's a series of 3 now, isn't it? First of all, we've got our counterexamples and we've got our qualities. Now we've taken those counterexamples and qualities and we're going to put them into something specific in the future. But now we've just learned a process of how to anchor. This is called stacking an anchor. If you want to know, the NLP term is stacking an anchor. And our stacked anchor is full of confidence, comfort, safety, and awareness. So that's pretty good for anything, isn't it? So you can use that one whenever you get a little bit nervous about something, fire off that anchor, and you'll notice that nervousness or that worry just seems to disappear and you think more clearly. Because you're comfortable, you're safe, and you're aware, and you're confident in yourself. So we've done a good thing already. But we're going to do something better, and we're going to do it, I think, as a real process. Now, whether I do the process and just put it up on the hypnosis tracks, or whether I'm going to do it as an episode, I'm not sure yet. I'll just have to see how confident I feel in that and how comfortable I feel in that. And if I'm aware that it's going to be so calm, just pulling your leg. I'll do something one way or the other. It's going to be great. But I want you to practice that, of getting that recipe of confidence, comfort, and awareness as an anchor. And just notice how well that works in just a general way, because then we're going to get really specific. I hope that's made sense. But you see, if you didn't listen to the previous episode, and therefore you didn't understand what the counterexamples are, and you didn't know what my qualities mind map is, you've now got to go back and listen to that, and then you're going to have to listen to this, because then it'll make sense. But if you did do that work, you do know it makes sense. And so what I'm going to ask you to do, if you've done that stacking of anchors, and you've done your counterexamples, and you've done your qualities, I want you to think of just one, because you're going to be able to repeat it. Well, you can think of more, but think of one thing that you'd really like to just knock out of the park. You want to be different. You want to, something you may be anxious about, nervous about, something you want to change, you want to be different at. And make sure you've got a note of it, because when we go through that process, I want you to take that and apply it so we can really test it. And we can visualize using that anchor, and then use the anchor in real time. And then we can review everything that's gone on. Okay? So just have a think. So do this general anchor. I want you to think about your qualities again. I want to think about those counterexamples. And then a specific thing that you really want to change, or you really want to be different at or better at, so we can use it. Okay? I hope this in some way made a resemblance of sense. I don't know if it did. I think it did. Because this series is now becoming 3 episodes, and I was going to make it 1, but it's just got deeper and it's got better. It's making a difference to you. And that's what I love about this. This is my gift to you, as it were, because I know this stuff and I'm going to use it myself, by the way, because it's a reminder to me. But we're finding different ways, because people don't do this. People don't teach you this in this way. I know they don't. They might teach it individually. I don't think they do my qualities, by the way. They'll teach counterexamples. They'll teach anchoring, but they won't teach it this way. And if they do, then nearly swore. Then they're pretty good too. Hey? Anyway, let's go do that. Let's do it with fun. Let's do it with a bit of joy in our heart. Set your intention before you do, when you practice that thing. Set your intention for confidence, calmness, comfort, safety, and awareness. Hey, we are going to crush this. In the words of Gary Vee, we're going to crush it. Okay, so really, till the next time, go fly with this.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.